And the last thing that we need to add to it is our logout button. Or rather, we're going to call this our sign out button to sign our user out, take them back to the login page. So that's going to come from auth. So we'll head to header. We'll import sign out from /components/auth/signout, and we'll put it underneath our comment for sign out button. Then heading to the component itself, we'll uncomment the material UI components. And to get a sign out button, we'll import again from React Google Login, Google Logout, and this button is going to be slightly different than our login button. We're going to make our own custom button based on material UI components. So here we'll return Google Logout. It's going to have the button text logout, or rather sign out. And then to render our own custom button, we'll use this render prop, where we'll add an arrow function, and we'll use parentheses in the return to immediately return the JSX that we're writing. We'll start with a span with the class name classes.root, then a typography component with the text sign out. Actually, we'll remove the button text that we have here, and instead we'll just use this. So the variant for typography here is going to be body1. The class name is going to be classes.buttonText. We're going to include an icon underneath our typography component, and this is going to be the exit to app icon. So we'll include that as a component, and it'll have the class name classes.buttonIcon. And one thing to note about creating a custom component with render is that we actually have to pass through onClick, so that when we click on this button, it's going to register properly. It's going to execute the appropriate function. So we'll add onClick to the span. And then one more prop that we have to add to Google Logout is onLogoutSuccess. This will accept a function which we'll call onSignout. And using onSignout, we want to dispatch an action that's going to clear from our global state the current user value. So in order to fire off an action, we're going to need dispatch, and therefore we're going to need to read from context. So we'll use context, bring that in. We'll import context from //context. And then we'll have returned dispatch. We'll destructure dispatch from the return value, so that when we write on sign out, we can dispatch a new action, and it's going to be of type sign out user. We're not going to need to pass any payload through. We're going to handle removing the current user data in the reducer, but for now we're just going to console log signed out user. So let's save header.js and sign out. We can see our sign out button. Now we need to go to our reducer, led to reducer.js, and we'll add a new case. Just like we had login user, we have sign out user now. And we'll return an object where we spread in state and set current user to null. And additionally, since we're also setting is logged in when the user logs in, or rather, we're executing is logged in and setting is auth, we also need to set is auth back to its original value of false. Now let's save our reducer and test this out. We'll hit sign out. We should be taken back to the login route. We see in our console signed out user, and if we refresh, we stay on the login page.